I'm Ryan Milton from Team Flex, and today we're going to break down a kind of hypothetical situation between two of the top bikini competitors at this point, which would be Vania, who just went ahead and she won the Arnold Classic. A very huge win for her. Great congratulations to that. And then Lauralie, our 2024 bikini champion, right? And this is actually a video you all suggested out there in the comments, so keep commenting those. If you have videos you want me to do, you want things, kind of break these down, I'll do them. I go run the comments, I take notes, and I get as many of them done as I can. Please comment more and more, all right? So this is a hypothetical situation, right? Because Vania comes out and she wins the Arnold, which is a huge win. It basically, the Arnold, if you don't know, sets the tone for where the divisions will go for kind of the season in a lot of ways, right? So if you didn't watch the video of me breaking that down, top 5 for bikini, we're going to also have some more coming from Arnold Bikini as well. Definitely go scroll back, check that out first, and then come over here, because now we're going to talk about, okay, with Vania being placed the way she was, winning this event, in the direction that may send criteria, where does that put Lauralie, right? Because, obviously Lauralie, she wins Olympia, but for a long time, she was kind of up and down in her placings in that top 5, working her way around, never really nailed the look 100% until obviously the Olympia win. So a lot of people have questions, right? What does this mean? Where's the criteria go? Well, let's talk a little bit about it, okay? So as we know, bikini is all about the hourglass shape. And as we know, Lauralie obviously exemplifies that. Shoulder shape brings that through, tapers into the waist. This was her best balance year, where the glutes and the quads and the hamstrings all really did match quite nicely. And it did take her some time to figure that out on her physique. If you've been following her journey, or even videos we had done on this channel, sometimes, glutes were clearly too dominant. Sometimes it was a little bit more shoulder. Sometimes she was softer, sometimes leaner, right? Well, she nailed that look and brought a totally balanced physique to Olympia, which inevitably wins her title. Vania actually placed 5th at this Olympia. She comes now to win the Arnold. So Vania's physique is a little bit different. Still all the same similarities, right, as far as the hourglass goes, but she packs the muscle in a different way, in my opinion, right? So it's a little bit more of a shapely look, where you can see a little bit more fullness in the shoulders, taper into the waist, a lot more of a dramatic V taper than Lauralie kind of has. Lauralie's physique in general is a little bit more up and down, even though it's still hourglass. It's a little bit more up and down, lengthier type of a physique look, if you will. Vania has a little bit more of all this shape and muscle compacted onto her frame, which is great for, a bikini look, to be honest, right? So she really narrows that and nails that down. Looking lower body wise, the symmetry, shape, everything's there. We talked all about her physique in those previous videos, so I'm not going to go in too much, but I do want to note, okay, this is two very different bikini looks in a lot of ways, right? So with the judges having Vania come in and win this event here, she comes in, she destroys the lineup, takes the title. This is a very clear indicator, for me, for a coach out here, for all of you out there, you should be paying attention to. Bikini's going really, really this season to the roots again in a lot of ways, which is a lot of symmetry, a lot of shape, a lot of proportion, and a lot of hourglass, up, down, left, right symmetry. Now, with that, we look at Vania, and she has, I think, to be honest, up against Lauralie, a little bit more of that shoulder fullness, a little bit more of that roundness in that shape. I would say they both do kind of have a equal taper into the waist. But I do think Vania kind of gets ahead just a little bit in the glutes and in the quads and in the hamstrings, right? Because she has a lot of more muscle shape and density than Lauralie does. And obviously Lauralie kind of had to downsize her glutes in some ways to, get her shape right, because she's kind of always had the bottom heavy glutes there. But she did dial that in for that. However, if this is the look we're going to go with Vania, I mean, this is a very close front post. This is very, very close. For judges looking at this, very, very close. And you could almost say, too, Vania has a little bit tighter condition where you can see these lines, so on and so forth. That in this hypothetical situation, right, where Vania brought this physique from Arnold to Olympia, I mean, who knows what could have happened. She made a lot of improvements from Olympia to Arnold, and I mean, it's definitely noted. In this front post, to be fair, I would say it could go either way, but I would probably give Vania just a little bit of an edge here in this lineup. So it means for a very, very interesting Olympia coming up this year with some new, athletes coming into these top ranks. So Looking from the back now, this is again where, Lauralie really did perform very well at Olympia, had a lot of good shoulder shape, tapered in well, everything was here, upper glute shape, fullness overall, slight separation between the glute tie-in, and, not overdoing the quads and the hamstrings, which is so key for bikini competitors because a lot of them get quad heavy. A lot of them, start showing a little bit of that quad sweep from the back. Makes you look more like wellness. Well, she didn't do that. I've talked about Lauralie's, maybe asymmetries in her glutes that I've seen. She's improved them considerably, but it still does look like, one is basically a little bit behind the other in some ways. And again, could always be angles, cameras, so on and so forth, or even poses. But in that is a factor. I think that is something that, if it's not corrected or it gets worse, that could be a big problem for retaining an Olympia title this year. Looking over here at Vania, good shape from the back, a little bit in the shoulders here, tapers in, good, everything's there. Lower body-wise, it's just total symmetry. It's total symmetry, and that's where, you look at this, and this is a streamlined group of muscles where the glutes match the quads, match the hamstrings, match the shoulders, match. It is a very, very symmetrical physique she has brought and performed upon here. And, that is continued improvements for her. And so, put it up against Lauralie any which way, you could say Vania is a dangerous threat to the Olympia title as it sits right now. If she continues to improve upon this look and bring that to Olympia, that's a dangerous threat to the Olympia title, because also with her win, I think it's, a signifying thing from judges and the criteria and where the direction's going, that they may be going away from more of the Lauralie look, right? Because we saw Amy, by the way, who has kind of a Lauralie aesthetic, right? She took second. So that's an interesting thing. That's an interesting thing to consider. Bikini competitors, what you want to be paying attention to is your best hourglass shape. You really want to dial in the shoulders, taper into the waist, bring it out in the lower body, and make sure it all matches. If you can do that, you're going to perform very, very well on all, the stages you want to perform on. And I get a lot of questions, people asking me, how do you know what muscles you need to be working on? How do you know which group to target? How do you know how to build the upper glute if that's an area that's lagging for you? Well, I'll tell you how. Go to do my free trial, okay? For a free coaching trial, I do this where you can come train with me free for 7 days. You don't put payment info in. You don't get charged, none of that. I do that basically just to give you 100 times better what I can do on YouTube. So if you watch this video and you're like, wow, that makes a lot of sense, I got something out of that, I can give you 100 times more of that if you actually come talk to me, train with me in my training app, and we work together on all those things. So it's a free 7-day coaching trial, totally interactive experience. You get training, you get everything you need. I can give you feedback on your physique, tell you where to improve, tell you what to do, tell you how to do it. And all of those things are free to you. So it would be silly not to do it. Do it if you haven't done it. If you've been watching my channel and you've liked even like one part of this video, it's worth going in there and getting 100 times better. All right. So I want to know what you guys think. Do you think Vania, she's a competitor that could steal the show? She could come in this Olympia and win. Is that a possibility? Do we think that Lauralie will be the kind of, one and done Olympia winner here at this point, where she has worked so hard to get there and now she may not be able to retain it? Or do we think Lauralie is sitting comfortably in that seat for a very long time? I want to know what you think. Thank you for watching. Comment it down below. Coach Ryan is out.